Hello, how are you guys all doing today? Thank you so much for joining me. I'm Kelly Howard, and I have had the pleasure so far of meeting a few of you. Please, when you jump on, introduce yourself. And today, I just wanted to give you a little overview of what we'll be doing over the next 3 weeks, plus answering questions from, let me just double check. I think I've got a question from Sue, one from Amy, one from Laura, and one from Monica. Hey, Jeannie, thanks for joining me. Good morning to you. So I'm going to give people just a couple of seconds to jump on. And Tawana, hi, good morning to you too. You guys get to see my dog butt in the back of the over there. She keeps me busy during the day and company. So thank you. Okay, let me just tell you a couple of quick things. If we haven't met yet, my name's Kelly Howard. I really tried hard at first to introduce myself to everyone. It got a little crazy in the group. I don't know, we've got close to 900 people in the group right now, so I haven't personally said hi to everyone. I apologize, but now I'm just saying that big group hi, a warm welcome to all of you. Thank you so much for being here. If we haven't met before, a couple of things you should know about me. One of them is I am like a serial entrepreneur. I have worked for myself my entire life. I think I had one corporate gig in my entire life that was like 6 months and I got fired. So I'm one of those unemployable people who just, I do love what I do. And a lot of what I've done, especially over the last 15 years, has been working with women in outdoor environments, like, doing biking and hiking and camping and kayaking and all kinds of fun stuff. And I no longer run that business. I actually sold it a few months ago, but I had a great time while I was doing it. And one of the things that came up along that time was that I was pretty active. I was actually really active. I've been fairly active my whole life. But this perfect bad storm of fitness happened to me all at once. Let's see, let me run through the litany really quick. We bought a house and I decided to work as the general contractor, which I thought, no big deal, right? I would just be hanging out at the house in, the big empty house. I had my phone as my hotspot and dumb. So next thing I know, I was eating a lot of pizza with the guys that were working there because I was buying them lunch every day. So that was, not a huge deal. But then the next thing that happened was that my mother got sick. And so I started caring for her at the same time. So now I'm, running the business, caring for her, kind of juggling, right? And then my business, I'm in Houston, we had a big storm and it really hurt the business. So then the business starts going downhill. So now we're struggling, juggling, doing everything, and I'm putting on weight. And it's the first time I've put on weight. And I was shocked, like, what is this? And I apologize. For those people who have struggled with weight their entire life, I have my own struggles. Luckily, I had good genes, but hit menopause at the same time. So now it's like I'm gaining weight like crazy, and it just wasn't working. My business was going downhill, and I quit taking care of myself completely. And this was in a pretty short period of time. Like, give it a year or less than a year, things just completely changed on me. And then what happened was one day I got up and I started to get out of bed, and I got that thing that you hear people say sometimes that happens to their back. And I collapsed back into my bed and I couldn't move. And I'd never had something like that. So there I was laying there feeling terribly sorry for myself. And I was probably in that bed for 3 to 5 days. Like, it just didn't get well. And eventually it worked its way out, I'm sure, after a lot of Advil, quite frankly. But it surprised me. And it was a perfect wake-up call for me, because I realized that I had a lot of friends lately who'd been having some of the same issues, whether it was menopause or premenopause or gaining weight or, working too much in their business or whatever it was. And we were all kind of getting to that age where things don't just stick together anymore. After about the age 30, you got to work at it. So I grabbed 2 of my best friends and I said, let's do something, let's fix this. And we created this little accountability group. And it was amazing. It was actually quite magical, really. And what happened was we did it for, I think, 3 months. And over those 3 months, all of us changed our lives. Like we changed our lives. And mainly it was because we had each other, we were changing our habits, and we were changing our mindset. So that's where this whole thing came from. And that's where the Being Fit is Freedom formula was born. And it is something that I've been doing. And I'll tell you all more about it. It is an opportunity. Someone said, well, of course she's going to sell something at the end of this. If you want to join me for the accountability and the method later, fine. But what we're going to do over the next 3 weeks is I'm going to really dive into the things that I see that the number one answers, or yes, let me rephrase that. Then when I ask the question, what's your number one issue? What's holding you back? The 3 things that we got were, it was time, it was energy, and it was motivation. Motivation/accountability. And those are the 3 things that I want to really dive into big over the next 3 weeks, because those are fixable. Like all of those are completely fixable. I promise. There are some people in the group who have had some health issues. I have no letters behind my name. So I'm not here to tell you that, I can fix health issues, but I can certainly help with a lot of what starts it all, which is our mindset. So we'll talk about that in a minute. If you have any questions, just jump in and let me know. And in the meanwhile, I want to just give you the questions. Hang on just a sec. The questions that I got today. All right. The first one came from Amy, and she said, I can't find the willpower to not overindulge at the end of the day. So she didn't say what overindulge was. She didn't say if it was food or drink or whatever. TV, it could be Netflix. There's a lot of overindulging that happens at the end of the day. And I would say first, like my favorite saying is, if willpower worked, we wouldn't be here. Hey, Yvette, how are you? Like if willpower worked, we wouldn't be having these conversations. Like we would just go, no, I'm not going to overindulge in whatever it is at the end of the day anymore, and I'm done. So end of willpower. But the truth is that willpower is a very, very limited commodity. And what really has to change are the habits and the thoughts behind whatever it is that overindulgence is. So to Amy, what I would say is first, like, what is that overindulgence, right? And if you were to quit whatever it is, what would that mean to you? Like to some people, at the end of the day, especially when your energy isn't high, you have very, very low ability to use that willpower we're talking about. So low energy just like wipes everyone out, like end of the day. So first thing is, what can you do to get up your energy? We will definitely talk about that. In fact, that's the first thing we're going to be talking about on Thursday. But you know what? The truth is that most of us know what's holding us back energy-wise. I mean, it's usually one of 3 things. It's usually not good sleep, not enough movement, or not enough food, the right nutrition that's going into our bodies. So first, what's contributing to that a lack of ability to have willpower at the end of the day. 2, what does it do for you when you overindulge? Like, what's it doing for you? Like, there's always a win for us, right? Anything we do is going to give us a win, even if it doesn't feel like a win. If someone drinks too much, then at the time it feels like a win because for whatever reason they're overindulging in alcohol. Let's see, I don't know, let me just make something up. They're trying to, they just don't like what they're doing for work, or they don't like their relationship, whatever it is, the alcohol wipes it out. So you're actually getting a win even when it's not helping you. If you're overindulging in food, maybe it's just stress eating, right? Maybe it's just simply, and I say just stress eating is a big deal, but maybe it's just that the food is something that consoles you. So what is it that that overindulgence gives you? And then who would you have to be? Like, what kind of person would you have to be to not do that? So this is where you just ask yourself, let's go back to someone who is, let's say someone who's drinking too much. Who would the person be who wasn't drinking too much? They would be someone who was looking out for their health. They would be someone who put their fitness and their health before cravings. They would be someone who found something different to do, right? So there's a lot of little nuances to this, and we can just go down a huge rabbit hole with this, and I don't want to do that right now because there's several other questions I wanted to answer. But go in and ask yourself those three things, Amy, and just start there, okay? Question number 2, Sue. Okay, Sue says, I want to get back to the gym. I don't know what to do. Okay, first thing, I am not a personal trainer. I'm not. I am a little bit of a gym rat. I've been a little bit of a gym rat my entire life. What I can tell you about the gym is that you need to have someone there show you around. You need to, I would probably hire a personal trainer for at least the first probably 4 weeks, because you want to get in the mode and feel comfortable. The thing that I will say about hiring a personal trainer, and this is maybe doesn't sound like the fairest thing to say, but if you're a woman, you're over about 30, let's say maybe over 40, I would tend to not hire the young, super hotshot male personal trainer. And the reason I say that is that they have a different level of ability, but they also don't have the knowledge that we have to be, as women, a little bit more careful with our joints, especially as you get a little bit older. And you just have to be a little bit more cognizant of how you're joining the gym and how you're jumping in there. So in a gym situation, I always ask people to start slow, because it's so much easier to start slow and build up than it is to get injured. I know that I had a great trainer. I loved him. He was a great trainer. I went against my intuition when he had me doing some things that I thought probably were a little bit more than I needed to be doing. And I ended up 6 months out because I just got some stuff in my arms going on. So definitely I would start with a female trainer who knows a little bit more about the female physique, and then just get someone to show you around the gym for a while. Get comfortable with the gym. I think that's the reason that most people don't stay at the gym, is that they just aren't comfortable. Next question. No, okay, this kind of leads into what we just said. Laura asked, how do I quit getting injured? The easiest way to quit getting injured when you're working out, it doesn't matter what you're doing, whether you're going to the gym or you're running or you're whatever you're doing, the easiest way to quit getting injured is to start slow. And people don't want to hear that, because we're in this society where you're supposed to lose 30 pounds in 30 days, or you do the 30-day ab challenge, or whatever it is, or 6 packs in 6 weeks, or I don't know what, it's all those different things, right? But the reality is that if you start slow and give your body time to catch up, then you're going to be so much better off than if you start hard and go in, hard. Then going in hard just usually ends up getting you a little injured. So that's what I'd say. And whatever it is, and believe me, I am like I'm preaching to the choir here, or preaching to myself actually, because I've done it. I'll start running and it feels good, and next thing I know, hey Michelle, next thing I know, I'm running 5 miles. I feel awesome, but I hadn't run 5 miles in the last year, and then boom, something goes wrong. So definitely start a little slower. And actually, the next question is kind of along these same lines again, and this is from Monica. And Monica says, how do I find the right exercise? What's the right exercise for her? I believe in what I call a fitness or exercise pyramid. And the exercise pyramid is something that the foundation of it is you're looking at strength and resistance, you're looking at stretching and cardio, right? And so that is your foundation. And that's pretty much everything that comes into being fit. And then as you, and we'll come back to that in just a second, but as you get better or whatever, you can move up the pyramid in like difficulty, bigger weights, more yoga, whatever it is. But think of it as like, if you're looking at an exercise pyramid, the first thing you want to look at is what can I do? What would I like to do? What would make me intrigued to do that involves, some strength and resistance, that involves some stretching. So strength and resistance could be like, just body weight workout. It could be going to the gym. It could be like a bands. It could be like a lot of different things. And there's tons of stuff on YouTube. Like, we're not going to go into like the fine details in this group about actually exercising, like, what exercises to do. But someone in the group already said it. There's tons of stuff out there. Start slow. Okay. That's all I want you to think about is start slow, but, look at those kinds of things. Then the next thing is your stretching. There's yoga, there's Pilates, there's, for me, there's something I do that's called Egoscue. And Egoscue is somewhere where you go and you get like a series of exercises, slightly stretching, they're slightly muscle balancing. It's a little pricey. You can find a lot of Egoscue online, and it's spelled Egoscue, like Egoscue. And so you can find a lot of stuff online that they do, but I use that for my stretching because it just keeps me in line and able to do the things I want to do. And then your cardio. So, your cardio could be, if you're just getting started, it could be walking. It could be stairs. It could be biking. It could be whatever running, whatever it is that you like, but start slow. And then what you want to do is usually after about 4 weeks, you're going to get into that place where you feel like maybe you're a little bored, maybe you need a little bit more, maybe you're thinking that nothing's working, and that's when you step it up a little bit. Like if you're doing the cardio, you're doing the walking, I would suggest that that's when you find some stairs and add stairs in. If you're doing the stretching, maybe you're doing stretching at home, that's maybe when you pick up a yoga class. Or yoga, just a YouTube. There are so many things out there on YouTube that you can learn. Same thing with the weights. Like after about four weeks at the gym, if you're doing the same weights again and again, bring it up a little bit. Not a lot, just a little bit. Okay, so those are the questions I've got today. Does anyone who's on the call have any questions? And let me just check over here. I don't see anything, but I'll give you all a second to ask. If there aren't any other questions right now, then let me just tell you what we're going to do next. On Thursday, we're going to have our first Fit Fast Track training. And what I'm going to be talking about there is, let me just double check. I want to make sure I've got the schedule right. On Thursday, we're going to talk about energy, because energy was the number one thing that, well, time and energy, like this in the question answers, but we're going to talk about energy and how to raise your energy. I will have a worksheet, fit sheet, whatever you want to call it, that will be posted in the group that morning. It will also go out via email. So you might end up with 2 emails from me that day. One that's a reminder of the Thursday call, and then also like just the welcome email. There's like a little series that y'all are getting just to remind you. So if you get 2 emails from me that day, forgive me. But that is going to be, hang on, I've got to check my calendar just to triple check. It's 2:30 Central Standard Time on this coming Thursday. And then I think the following Sunday is, let me make sure I'm right again. Yes, sorry. I keep my calendar on the wall because I'm very visual. It's 5 o'clock Central Standard Time, and that's going to be another Q&A. So you can put your comments in, you can ask questions, whatever you want. I'll be answering other people's questions. So any other things before I jump off here? I know some people in the group wanted to know what we were up to. Basically, we've got 3 weeks. Well, actually, let me let you in on a little secret. What started this, and I'll mention this again on Thursday, but what started this whole beta challenge, whatever we want to call it, is that a friend of mine said, well, I guess that since you're doing stuff around fitness, you won't do anything for the next 3 months until the first of the year. And I was like, why? And she said, well, it's because of the holidays. I mean, no one wants to get fit over the holidays. No one has time. And I actually believe that the holidays are one of the best times to get back in shape or to start getting back in shape. And there's a lot of reasons that I believe this. One of them is that our schedules are all messed up over the holidays, right? So we can change things. It's not as big a deal. And I'll dive into this some more. But, oh, yes, Tricia, just so you know, it is Central Standard Time based on whatever time Houston is that day. So I think that, I don't actually know when we change times. I think we change times in a couple of weeks, but it's just whatever is Central Standard Time that day in Houston. Hey, Donna, thanks for joining me. Thanks for joining us. But yeah, so this friend of mine said, holidays are a terrible time to get in shape. Nobody wants to. You might as well wait until the first of the year. And my belief is that holidays are a great time to get in shape because things are all cattywampus anyway. Why not do something different? And people just assume that everyone's going to eat poorly, drink too much, eat lots of sweets, whatever over the holidays. And we don't have to. I mean, we can just change the way we act, right? That's all this is a lot of this is about changing our habits and changing our actions. So my deep desire is that these next 3 weeks allow everyone to have a good kickoff so that we have 3 weeks to get started, and then we're going to then keep implementing them for the next, to the beginning of the year, so that at the beginning of the year, you're not doing this, now is the time to get in shape. Just kind of like, a lot of times it's like, oh, well, next Monday I'll start. And then people are like, well, I'll start in the new year. Forget that. Start now so that you're a leg up. You're ahead. You feel great. Because being fit really, truly is freedom. Like, without feeling good, we can't run our businesses. We can't take care of our families. We can't, grow our lives. We just can't do all the things that we want to do. And so when you feel good, everything else is easier. Like, everything else is easier. And my job is to figure out how to get you to that feel good space and keep you going over the next 3 weeks. So hang on for just a second. Let me read what Tamara just said. Yeah, so yeah, things do get crazy. Like, of course they get crazy. And we'll talk a lot about time, because other than energy, the other thing that people were asking about, well, motivation, accountability, and time. Like, I don't have the time. And to be a little blunt, I'll call a little BS on that, because I've been there too. I've been the person who didn't have the time. And then when I decided that I was a priority, then I figured it out. But I'm going to share with you all the figure outs that I did, because I did do a lot of figuring out, like, how to make time work for us. It's a big one, right? So right now, if there are no other questions, I'm going to jump off, because I don't want to take up your time. I want you to have time to go out and exercise and eat well and do all the things that you want to do. I want to thank you guys so much for being on here. And I will see you on Thursday. It is Central Standard Time, 2:30 in the afternoon. I'm switching the times around a little bit just to help people in case one time works better for them than the other. And I will see y'all then. Thank you again so much for being here. Take care. Bye-bye now.